All right, so this is going to be our My Name Is project, and this time we're going to do this in Ableton Live. Now, a lot of this is going to be the same or very similar to what we were doing in Pro Tools or what we were doing in GarageBand, but we're going to execute one particular part of this a little bit differently, and I think you'll like how this sort of starts to show you a little bit more about what you can do in Ableton, but also help you to compare all three pieces of software a little bit more, so that as we're exploring other creative options just in general, that we can start making some more creative instinct-based choices than necessarily just what we see on the screen. So, same thing as before, we're going to have an interface. I'm using the exact same one as I've done in the other two projects. I know you can't see it in this video, but it again is an Onyx Blackjack. I'm connected into channel 1 of that. I've got headphones in. I've got all my knobs for now at straight up at 12 o'clock. This is my empty set, as it were. I've got 2 MIDI tracks and 2 audio tracks. First thing we're going to do, like before, is we're going to make sure that we have the audio signal running in and out of Ableton correctly. The way we're going to do that is we're going to go up here to Live, we're going to go to Preferences, and we're going to go to Audio. I'm going to check the input and the output device. I need to make sure that both of these are selected with the correct interface. I've got lots of choices in my studio, as I've mentioned to you before. Onyx Blackjack is my input device. Onyx Blackjack is also going to be my output device. So once that's set, I should be pretty good. Now, in the past projects we were using MIDI tracks in Ableton. For this project, we are going to use an audio track. And it's very important to remember, audio tracks, anything that's coming outside of the computer through that interface, is an audio track, even if it's actually an instrument. Remember, instrument track, MIDI tracks, virtual instruments. Okay, so we're not going to use those for this project. We're only going to use one of these two. I'm going to use this first one that's marked number 3. Now, first things first, I've got my microphone, same microphone I used before, the Beta 57A that I like so much from Shure. And I am talking into this microphone. There's a little tiny meter right here that shows me that the audio is coming from external inputs. And I can actually go here and change that if I want, but leave it on external input. I can go here and change the channel. For example, if I'm in channel 2, I can change it to channel 2, but you'll notice now I don't have any signal. Why? Because it's looking for the wrong line in from the interface. I need to make sure I've got the correct one. So here's line 1, I've got signal back, but I'm not getting anything actually on my fader here. So here's what I want to do. This is my monitoring selection. Right now, I'm not monitoring the input. If I select auto, now I don't have anything either because I'm not recording the way we have this defaulted. But if I put monitor in, now I can see the signal level, and I can adjust, just like before the gain, make sure I've got the signal coming in exactly as I want it to be, to make sure that I've got a nice, strong capture going on. So I've got my signal checked. If I want to hear that in my headphones like I can right now, I can leave that on. If I don't want to hear it in my headphones, I can turn it to off. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to make sure that I have told the software which of these 4 tracks I'm going to record to. If I don't tell it that, nothing's going to happen. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on the Record Enable button right there. And you can see, although it's gray, now I can see the level even though I am not hearing it in my headphones. If I want to hear it in my headphones again, put the monitor to in, all right? So I've got it record enabled, and under that option, the auto also is going to help us work, and it sort of automatically would turn things on and off for you as we go. But you can experiment with that part of it as you do this project a little more. Now here's the thing. You noticed up here at the top that when I record enabled the track, you see how the little clip buttons all turned from stop buttons to record buttons? Well, this time I'm going to use the record buttons. I am not going to turn on my metronome this time. I'm not even going to worry about my tempo for right now. I'm just going to get some raw audio data. Now, the original 2 projects in GarageBand and the one we did first in Pro Tools asked you to record the entire phrase all in one shot. My name is, and then your name, in my case, Richard Maxwell. But this time I want you to do this differently. I want you to break this up into different clips for every single word. So, or at least most of them. So we'll do a clip for the word my, we'll do a clip for the word name, we'll do a clip for the word is, and then we'll do a clip for your actual name. So there will be several of them here. We're going to put them all on audio track 3, one right after another. The way we record them is very simple. We're going to click on this record button, and it's immediately going to start recording. So I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to hit the word, or I'm going to say the word my, and then I'm going to hit stop down here when I'm done. My. Let's double click on that and see what we got. And there's the word my. If I hit play up here on the little triangle, we should hear that back. My. My. And you'll notice it's looping around. It's looping around with a lot of space. My. So let's stop that again. And let's see, what can we do? I'm actually going to stop my entire set, not just that track. What can I do to make it so that I don't have quite so much space? Well, if I go up here, I can actually change the loop start point. I'll just move that up to there, and I can go up here and I can change the loop end point to this. And now when I hit play, watch how much quicker it happens. My. And it'll just keep going and going until I stop it. So let me stop that again. But now I have the word my. I want to go down here and I'm going to do the one below it. So I'm going to press record again, and the word I'm going to record now is name. Name. Stop. Now you'll notice I didn't change the visual here, so I still have my showing, but I have something recorded here. I can hear it. Let's click on it and see. Okay. And in fact, it looks like I recorded some of my other sounds here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it. Let's see what we got. Name. Stop. See, and I have a little bit of the blip here at the end, or you heard me say that I was stopping it. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to trim this again. And now I have name. Let's just double check it. Name. Similar to before. Name. Good. So I've got my and I've got name. Let's do another one here. Ready? This one time I told it I was going to record to it. I didn't double click, by the way. I single clicked there. If you were to double click, okay, on one of these, in the MIDI tracks it gives you a measure. In the audio tracks it just moves up and down for you. So you should be okay with this. I'm going to click my record button here and do is. Is. And you can actually see it forming there. Now again, when I hit play, is. It's kind of long. So again, I'm going to trim this one down. And trim this one down here. And now I've got is. Is. Just like before. Now I got to do one more here. My actual name. So here we go. Richard Maxwell. And you can see I've got Richard Maxwell. We'll play it. And just like before. Richard Maxwell. There you go. By the way, if you're wondering what the pauses are for it to start and stop, it's because right now all of the clips are synchronized to loop in time to my session. So that's one of the reasons why there's a little bit of a hesitation. It's got to loop around according to the timing that's going on in the set. So we'll talk more about that in later projects and how you can adjust that. But in any case, I've got my name here. So I'm going to trim this one as well, and I'm all good. Now, the project originally was to record the phrase, my name is Richard Maxwell in my case, and then reverse it to Richard Maxwell is my name. And we did that in GarageBand and Pro Tools by going in, creating that full line, and then cutting up the audio form, waveform, and then moving it around. Well, this time I've done it in segments and clips. And the reason why is because now I can choose the order I want based on when I hit the play buttons. So I'm going to do a performance, as it were, of my name is, and you can hear how I can randomly, or not necessarily randomly, but I can very deliberately, in fact, choose which clip and therefore which word goes when, and therefore what the order is of the words in the phrase. So check this out. My, name, is Richard Maxwell. So because of all the looping, it's repeating, and I may want to rethink how long I have before or after. Maybe I stretch some of the space actually to make it a little cleaner. But here's the bigger point. It went in order, granted, repeating words. My name is Richard Maxwell. Check this out. I can go the opposite direction if I want. Richard Maxwell. Richard is my name. So I can actually make the order anything I want, and that's the beauty of Ableton. So create your individual clips on a single audio track, and then go through and play around with how you launch each clip and which order, and maybe how it repeats if you want. There's a lot of really neat things you can do with just this simple little audio segment See what you can come up with. Remember, if you want to use the same set for everybody in your group, one of the things you could do is you could mute this audio track, and you could go over here and record onto this one for your second person. The other thing you could do is you can add more tracks. You can right-click here and add another audio track. You can also go up to Create, Insert Audio Track, and keep going across and add for as many people as you need to. Something else to keep in mind, when this is green, it means that it's getting ready to play. But if you hit the track stop button, none of these will play until you select one of them, which means if you have more things over, say, in audio 4 going on, you don't have to necessarily mute this track in audio 3. You just have to make sure you hit the stop button over here. Anyway, more things to experiment about. Remember, this is all about just interfacing with Ableton Live and seeing what you can come up with. And I'm kind of excited now to see what you can create in terms of a performance of the My Name Is project in Ableton Live.